I can't wait to find out like who you each think you are from the
Yeah,
BSC.
I want to talk about that because that was a big, I don't know if that was a big deal for you, Chloe, growing up, but but friends and I like, which babysitter are you?
But where do you get the cutoff? Like, is it the original 4? Is it where they're at in this book? Where do you do the cutoff?
We're here. We're live. Welcome, everybody. I'm Sarah from the Bookish Knitter, and I'm joined by Chloe and Bree. And we're here to talk about Babysitters Club Super Mystery number 1. Hey, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
Why do I have a very distinct feeling Steph didn't read the book?
She messaged me earlier. She's like, I'll be in the comments. I can't wait to see you guys.
We love having you here anyway, Steph. Thank you.
I think Tara was planning on it. I don't know. Tara, did you read it?
Regardless if you read it or not, thank you so much for dropping in and joining us. We really appreciate it. Absolutely.
There will be massive spoilers for the whole series.
So
because you'll never have to read any idea what's going to happen. Yeah.
Hi, Kim. Kim is here.
Hello, Kim.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. So where should we start? Do we want to give our ratings or?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not laughing because I love it. I freaking love the series. You know that. But for me, it's not one of the best ones. I think the older that you get when you read them, you're like, really?
Right?
Yeah, that's you lose some of the fun.
For sure. And like this one, because I don't think I ever read it like as a child, this one specifically. And so it didn't have that nostalgia factor. So there were a couple things too that I was like, ick, like what is going on? Ick. Yeah. So I give it a start.
We'll get into all that. So I was like, I think it was like a 4-star for me, 3.5. 4 mostly because unlike you, Chloe, I loved the super specials and the super mysteries. They were my favorite. And I know shockingly, Chloe and I didn't agree on that. So
I know, like I love them all, but I want them in Stony Brook in the same spot that we see them all the time. And like, I want that. Like, it's like Rory and Lorelai going to somewhere else. It's like, no, I want Stars Hollow.
Yeah.
So when they're
That's
gone,
fair.
I'm kind of like, I just don't like them as much. And then also just me being like type 3, I like to achieve things. The fact that they're longer, I'm like, I really could have done with less pages on this.
And
Bree, what did you do? You are a BSC virgin.
Yeah, right. How was it?
Well, I liked it. I rated it 3 stars. It's probably like a high 3, almost 4. And I guess it was cool starting this one because the club is broken up, like the 4 go out of town or whatever. And you like the other girls back home are like losing their minds. We don't have enough sitters to cover. They got to ask Janine. And Logan's at work. He took a double shift. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, this
drama.
is a big deal.
There's drama there in Maine. There's drama at Stony Brook. There's drama everywhere.
Yep.
Yes, Steph. Exactly like when Saved by Bell went to college or summer vacation. I was not a fan.
See, that's what I loved. I loved it when you took it. Yes, every show. If you take them out of their habitat and put them elsewhere, I'm like, I'm here for it.
Okay.
It's just fun.
Yeah. No, it is. It is fun. I just like the comfort of.
No, that's fair.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah. Because like a lot of series, Stony Brook itself becomes like another character in the series.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I wonder, is each of these super mysteries, are all of them somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it? Because I couldn't remember because I think there was only 2 or 3 of the super mysteries, but the super specials, I think there was like 15 or something like that.
Yeah, there's like 15 or 20 for sure.
Yeah, but there were 2 of them I know that were at home. The one with the snow, the blizzard, they're at home for that one. And there was the Remembers, number 11. I can see the cover, number 11, where they're telling the stories. That one was cute too, but we're getting away from the actual one.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are interested who didn't read it, shall we kind of give a little, talk about what it was about?
Yes.
Go for it.
So, our 4 main babysitters, Christy, Claudia, Marianne, and Dawn, are hired, if you will, to go to this mansion in Maine to babysit these 6 kids. But in reality, the one kid is 14 and he's actually older than the rest of the Babysitters Club.
And like, as a parent, you could not pay me to take 4 12-year-olds or whatever.
13-year-olds. Yeah.
Right.
You're not paying me enough. Like, yes, you're going to watch a couple kids, but like, I'll take my own kids and not 4 more. But anyway, that's beside the point.
And that's I was like, okay, this is a totally different time because who's letting their tween daughter go off to Maine with this couple to watch their kids? Like it was such a fantasy.
Like
I was like, am I reading a fantasy novel right now? Because Asia is 12 and no. She's not going to Maine to babysit.
Well, the funny thing is, you know how they talk about like books give us unrealistic expectations of things? Yeah. I remember reading these at 12 and 13 going, I'm going to become a babysitter and the parents are going to go to Disney and they're totally going to take me with them.
Yeah. And then they're supposed to like help the kids like get used to the town or whatever.
But I love how in these books, the parents are never around. It's like they don't even, that's what the one thing that's always bothered me. The parents don't want a parent. Yeah. We're going to go away on vacation with our kids for 2 weeks.
Staple.
And then the parents are never there.
I feel like that's such a young adult staple.
What are these parents doing? Like in the whole series that there's so many darn babysitting jobs. Like why are you never with your kids?
That's what I was thinking when the girls back home were like getting all these calls. I'm like, what's going on in this town?
Yeah, Stony is not a big town. Where is it?
No, it's not. So then there's a mystery that there's some supposed ghosts in this, mansion, and of course the babysitters are going to try and figure it out. So that's pretty much the plot.
Kids.
Right? Including the 14-year-old boy who's clearly going to need their assistance.
Right.
I had to go back and be like, I had to go back to that part. Go, did they say 14 or did I read it wrong?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You got
it.
Yeah. I'm just reading
I thought it was irresponsible for 4 members to go away on this trip. Way to drive your business into the ground, Christy.
leaving behind the 2 11-year-olds.
The little girls.
My niece is 11. I'm sorry.
We can't even function without Christy because you know what? The freaking answering machine wasn't even hooked up. So.
I know. Fail. You had one job.
Of course you missed out on business. The answering machine wasn't plugged in, so they called the house phone.
That's right.
Janine is sassy.
Oh yeah, she was always one of my favorite characters. I don't know why.
And she came through for him.
She is like the eye roll emoji personified. Janine is just constantly like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do your job tomorrow, not tonight because I have a date.
Yeah. Janine's getting some.
Right? Well, that's where it takes over into Sweet Valley High territory.
Right. There you go. Yeah, we have the babysitter's little sisters. Where's the babysitter's big sisters?
Sisters, yeah.
See me.
Okay, I have to say, Unlimited. It was so cute. I didn't know. Well, I mean, I knew they had like a journal or notebook or something. I think I saw that in the movie. I've seen the movie like once. I think Secret World of Alex Mack girl was in it or something.
Yeah, she played Dawn.
Okay. Yep. And so I was like loving it. And I was like, Claudia can't spell. So cute.
It really was a great, like really the marketing for the Babysitters Club outside of just this book. I mean, we could talk about the series. It was so well done with that part of it. I always loved that.
Yeah.
And I used to even be like, whose handwriting am I most like? Can I copy these handwriting? Like I would try to mimic the different handwritings.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally like that. It was awesome. And it like that and the movie Harriet the Spy came out around the same time. So like journaling was like huge. And I mean, I still didn't do it. Like I was a journaler then as like I am now. Like I buy journals and then I do it for 2 days.
Don't do them, yeah.
Right? Yeah, hello.
But
anyway. For those of you who grew up with the Babysitters Club, does anyone else remember the hardbound books that came out? There was 2 of them. One was a Christmas one was summer vacation. But you open it up and literally there would be envelopes. And then inside the envelopes would be like literal letters that you could open up. One was called Secret Santa. I can't remember the other one. I had these and I want to get them again. They were like, do you know what I mean? Like they were just, it was so cool, you know, like, and there was a computer game also, like a kind of like a journaling, keeping your calendar, that kind of a thing for your PC. And you could type in each of the babysitters' handwriting. And at one time I had all the fonts downloaded on my computer. For all of them. Yeah. I always wanted to be like Stacey, but then I got really bored doing those hearts all the time.
Okay, so what's the deal with Stacey? Because Stacey's not in this.
Oh yeah, that's
mentioned.
Right. And that's when I started reading this one. I'm like, where the hell is Stacey? But she left the club for a boyfriend. She picked a boy over the club, right? If I'm remembering correctly. I haven't gotten that far yet back in the series again.
Yeah.
Oh, Stacey.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how frequently they kind of have beef in the Babysitters Club. You know, which I think is really good because I think you get any number of 12, 13, whatever year old girls, there's going to be some fights for sure. And so I think they do a pretty good job of like having that in there, but and sometimes friendships do end, and like sometimes Stacey leaves. You know, sometimes our friends make choices that we would not do and that are hurtful, and I really like how they do that.
I agree.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, like they're capturing girlhood so well. Like sometimes Christy's a little bit too much. And you know, Claudia's the snacker, you know, and like Marianne bored everybody. And I'm just like, this is women friendships too. Like this is like the groundwork right here. I liked it. I liked that part of it.
And they foreshadowed to Dawn leaving permanently. I noticed that one because she kept talking about how much she missed California. And I'm like, oh yeah, she hasn't gone back yet, you know, like, but then I think to myself, this entire series supposedly takes place over the course of a year.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. These babysitters every damn night. What are people doing?
Yeah, what are you
doing?
Chloe, Steph said, are you trying not to give spoilers?
Oh, no. Sorry.
Spoil away. It's what we do here. I don't think this is anything groundbreaking that anyone's going to be too upset about if we spoil anything.
Yeah, no, I'm not. There's not like specific, like this one, they all were bitching at each other because they were deciding who had the like most right to go.
Yeah.
And then they ended up just going.
Yeah.
Like all of them. But like, I like how that conflict is in there of, I mean, of course there would be like, no, I deserve it. No, you just, you know, like, so.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing. Like, you know, you see, like, there's such different personalities, really. Like, all of them are really, you wouldn't think that these girls would ever be friends for any reason.
I know. I was thinking,
right?
I need to ask Chloe what their Enneagrams are.
Yeah, I know. I need to think about it.
Okay, so like, which one do you think you identify with the most?
See, I feel like I have pieces of all of them. I can't pick.
Yeah.
I
always like
about 31-year-old me or 13-year-old me.
That's the way, right?
I really liked. I was like, I feel like such a Marianne.
Yeah.
Where are we going? Oh, let me find a magazine about it.
You need to read the New York one, Brie, where she just like spends the whole time reading the guidebook.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
Yeah.
Right. But then I feel like all of my like adult life and being in the military is like my Christy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christy, like we're just gonna get this done. Meeting starting. Everybody shut up.
Yes.
And I should get to go because they're my brother and sister. Oh, I could have smacked your face for that.
Okay, so is Dawn like the pretty girl? Because there was like a kid they were babysitting, and she like wanted to do everything. Dawn, what are you wearing, Dawn?
Yeah.
Like, it's so sweet.
Dawn's the health nut. She's like the very epitome of the California lifestyle back in the 80s kind of an idea, health food, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But Dawn is very much, for the time period, she was like, she could be a bit much. Dawn could be a bit much.
Yeah.
To be nice about it. Like very much like save the whales and all these things. And, which I don't disagree with, but she would really get in your face and let you know this was her opinion, period.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
I didn't get that vibe from her with this.
Yeah. Not with this one. Yeah. Per se. Stacey, I think, was always considered to be the pretty one. Or, like the popular pretty girl.
The posh one, because she came from New York. And so Stacey was like Miss Glam girl.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey's mom has got it. Hey, which one didn't somebody have diabetes? Like I remember
that was Stacey.
That being a big thing. Okay.
That's Stacey. Yeah. Okay. And actually, I really liked the way the Netflix show portrayed that, because in the book they talk about her being a brittle diabetic, which I looked up, and it's very, very like the worst you could be. But yet yes, she gives herself insulin, has to watch what she eats, but it never seemed like that big of a deal in the books. But in the Netflix show, she actually has the insulin pump.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was really well done for her character. Mm-hmm. So that's just me nerding out over things.
Yeah. Well, in the books, you have like the truth about Stacey, where it's like a huge deal, like, and they reveal everything and talk about it. But then from then on, it's just kind of accepted in the books, and it's not a huge deal. And I kind of like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I know me, if it was me, I don't know if my mother would let me jet off to Europe and all these other places if I had, like.
My mom wouldn't let me, and I'm perfectly healthy. Like my mom wouldn't let me babysit, I don't think, till I was older.
Unless I didn't babysit until like late teens. Like
I was babysitting at 11 or 12.
And I made some good money.
I took the babysitting course, and I did the thing.
What do you? Oh, I know. I saw her comment. I think Steph. I need to read more books. She's definitely got some Christy.
So. Yeah, I would say some Christy and some Claudia.
Out of those, I would say Christy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Christy and a little Claudia, but we know you can spell.
Right? That's the difference.
I loved it. Because she even acknowledges that she can't spell.
And like, did you guys ever have friends like that in school and stuff, or like even do you still, that are just very artsy and like just don't give two shits about spelling words right? Mm-hmm. And like when I was that age, that would annoy the piss out of me. I'd be like, you guys, sight words, spell them.
Spell the words right.
I was all about like, I was just a nerd. Like I was a student. I loved straight A's.
Yeah.
I still, to this day, I can't spell to save my life. And I went to school, I graduated with an English diploma from high school. And there's a reason that God invented spell check. It's for people like me. Because I can't. I always loved when the teacher said, if you can't spell it, look it up in the dictionary. How am I to look it up in the dictionary if I don't know how to spell the word?
My God.
Truth.
So what is it, do you think? Okay, because these books came out when?
1986.
Starting in the 80s. One. Yeah, starting in the 80s, going to mid to late 90s.
This one was 1995, I think.
Okay. They are, do you feel like the stories are like timeless? Because like now they're republishing them in graphic novel. And sometimes I wonder, do the stories stand the test of time how they are? Or like, sometimes I'm like, why couldn't we get a group of authors to like rewrite the stories and make them more 2021? Mm-hmm. But then again, it's like, obviously it's working because people... But then it's like, how much of it is our generation that's like, hey, these books are good, and hauling them and like introducing them to your kids. So like, they know it through that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
do you
for
think 20 years from now they will still stand as they are, or would they benefit from becoming a little bit more modern? What do y'all think? Y'all have read more than me.
I like, because they are being modernized for the graphic novels. They are making them a lot more diverse, I'm finding. But I think that that works. I think that's great. But I'm glad that they're not adding in too much technology, because I think that's really what made there are some books that would not have worked in today's world. There's one, I can't remember, was it Dawn and the Impossible 3, like the 5th book, where she's babysitting and this little boy goes missing and she can't get a hold of the parents because she's calling wherever they are and they can't locate them. Whereas now you would pick up your cell phone and call them. So do you know what I'm saying? Like, you would lose some of that, but other than that, diverse it. I think it's great. I absolutely think it's fantastic what they're doing with the series.
I don't think they need to be rewritten, and like you said, like I don't think in like the whole concept, I don't know that they could, because reality, like you said, like we're not sending our 12-year-olds to babysit places anymore. Like that's not a thing that happens in 2021, and we don't. Kids are different. They don't walk to people's houses like that. They don't, I think
the world is dangerous.
It really, no, seriously.
I think the whole concept wouldn't work. Like, to rewrite it would be changing it 100%.
Absolutely.
I do think, like, in the adaptations, whether it be show, movie, graphic novel, I do like that they're like diversifying, within the characters that already exist and within the story structure that already exists, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
And
Hi, Shannon.
A lot of, like Shannon was just saying, tech can always be a challenge. Because a lot of it I think wouldn't work if they wouldn't all need to go in Claudia's room if they had like Google Calendar that they could share.
And Claude had her own phone line, and that was a big to do back then. That was my best friend had her own phone line, and I was like, oh my God, you're amazing.
And that threw me off at first. I was like, why are they in Claudia's room and Claudia's not even there? And I was like, oh, this must be established that like Claudia has the phone line, so even if Claudia's not there, this is where the meeting is held.
That's right. And I love that her parents were so okay with just random girls coming in and out of the house.
Kids, girls, boys, whoever, come on up.
I'm like, mom me is like, how do her parents just let her have all these snacks in her room?
But she does have like stashed under her bed, so I don't know if her parents know.
No, they don't. They, she had to hide that and her Nancy Drew books. And I always loved that was always like a big mention. It was her Nancy Drews.
Did you guys hear that Beverly Cleary died this week?
I did. She was 104.
I think, something crazy, but how sad.
You're right. I don't recall reading a lot of her books when I was younger. I mean, I must have read some.
Oh, really? Yeah, I read Ramona and Beezus, that whole series.
Yes. Yeah, that's the one that I remember.
I saw Debbie Macomber posted, and she's like,
oh, really?
Basically her first librarian experience. It was her. Like, she's a librarian that gave her a book, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah, so not a lot to talk about on this one, but it was fun. Oh, I did want to mention, because I noticed this, because I'm being bad and going on NetGalley, that this is due to come out in July. Stop laughing at me, Brie.
I remember you at the beginning of the year telling me and Chloe
that you were not going to get on.
I know, right? It's called We Are the Babysitters Club, and it's essays from adults who grew up reading the series.
Oh,
so I do have a request in for it. Essays and artwork from grown-up readers. So I thought that would be kind of a lot of fun, because, I have to wonder, sitting back now, the TV show that Netflix did they really do it for like people my niece's age or your daughter's age, Brie? Or was it done for, or was it 50-50?
It was done for us. I think it was done for, because I was like bitching and griping, and I had never even read the books, and I was like, telling Sincere, I was like, I'm so confused. Like, why are they remaking all this old stuff? Like, my sister's like, hey, they remade Are You Afraid of the Dark? And and Sincere is always just like, you guys are gonna watch it because it's the nostalgia, and you're gonna introduce it to your kids, and it's gonna be something new and cool for them, and they'll like it. And so I feel like when Babysitters Club came out, I was like, all of my friends that grew up reading it are going to watch it, and I feel like it's like mostly for us, and hoping the new kids come on and enjoy it.
Yeah, because I mean, I watched it the day it was released. I watched all 10 episodes because I couldn't not do it, right? Like, and Bridgerton when that came out too, but that's a different ballgame. But then my niece said to me a couple weeks after that, she's like, Auntie Sarah, had you seen this? And I said, yes. And she goes, and she was asking me all these questions. How many books are there? And blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, it kind of introduced it to her too, which was great. But, you know, it was really nostalgic for me. And it was nice. It was fun. I loved it.
And I think that's what they're banking on. They're banking on like that age group to enjoy it, but then for us old heads to come in for the nostalgia. So
yeah, exactly.
Get, like, the two
because
audiences.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if. Well, I guess I was going to say I don't know if like 12, 13, 14-year-olds would just watch it on their own, given everything out there, but with their parents or aunts or uncles or whatever saying like, hey, let's watch this together, then I mean, it's a whole untapped market.
Yeah.
So how much, I wanted to talk about this real briefly, if you guys don't mind, how much of our younger reading do you think shaped us as readers now? Because it's something I've been thinking a lot about recently, personally. Like for me, it was like the Babysitters Club, I think, is where my love of series came from. My love of following that same town, those same characters, even though they're not featured in every single book, you know, it's not the star of the show. You still got that, like, coming home. I don't know how to describe it, but do you know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of like that continuity. Like,
yeah. You know, and I mean, yeah, I got my start there. And, you know, at the time they were contemporary and they were, you know, they were sweet. They were small town, you know? And then on the other side, I had Sweet Valley, which was very, for the time it was tame, right? Like for now it would be tame, right? But at the time, but like, again, I read mostly series books. Like I had friends who would read standalones. I never touched them, but standalones weren't a big thing when we were younger. I felt like almost everything was a series.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
Standalones were big for me. Because I'm realizing more and more as middle grade March goes on that our school specifically really relied heavily on the Newberry Award.
Okay.
And so we read a lot of Newberry winners, Newberry honors, a lot of standalones in that. But I feel like the Babysitters Club is really the only books that I owned and that I cherished, you know, and I think they really shaped my love for women's fiction. And just because I could see myself as them and I could, like, I watched them grow up. Is it just 1 year or is it 2 years? It's a couple
years.
It's
2 years because it starts out when they're 12 and then they move to 13.
Something like that. And so I could relate to that. And yet, like, Claudia, I would say I'm like 1% Claudia. I'm barely, you know, like I could learn from other perspectives and you know, just that journey that I love to take in books with just kind of sitting alongside some people that I may not necessarily relate to, but like I could see their lives. I can, you know, does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think we talked about that on Voxer because I remember asking you, like, do you feel like you like women's fiction because you grew up reading Babysitters Club? It makes 100% sense. Like, knowing what you love now, and then
like just falling in love with that contemporary, relatable, but not necessarily my life reflected on the page, but relatable.
And some actual, like, most of the books are fluff and fun, but they did get into a lot of there was a whole book on racism, which was really good. Keep Out Claudia, I think it was called. There was, you know, Jesse dealt with a lot of discrimination being Black. You know, I mean, for the time period it was written in, they dealt with some serious topics, to be honest,
well,
you
like
know?
Marianne just having her dad and Stacey
Exactly.
having diabetes and new kids coming in and kids going out and just that the drama that happens between girls and all of
and
those
entrepreneurship.
like, and entrepreneurship. You know, and
seriously.
Yeah, I was totally that kid. I would be like, I mean, I was all about making a buck. And so I would be like, Mom, will you come sit outside and watch me either kick soccer goals or play basketball? And every one I make, you give me a penny. Every one I miss, we take away a penny.
That's so
I would do
funny.
it for hours and make like 50 cents, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
My mom would be like, sure, cool. But I was like, yep, just earn that 50 cents, you know. And so like the idea of starting a Babysitters Club to me was like, this is awesome, you know, and motivating.
I always wanted to do that when I was younger, but none of my friends had any interest in babysitting. Like, you know, I originally was going to go to school after high school to be EC, early childhood education, like to work in like a daycare or something. Luckily, my dad's like, you know, there's no money in that, right? You really gotta love it.
I don't even remember like my friends reading them, but I don't remember what anybody read. I had like one friend that read a lot, but I don't remember what she read. But like as a kid, I started with the Goosebumps.
Yeah.
So I think now, and it's funny that you asked that because I was thinking about that yesterday. Like the more that I backtrack in romance and read paranormal, which like had its heyday and is like not really a thing right now. So I'm reading older titles. I was like, I feel like 7-year-old girl me and 34-year-old me are like meeting in the middle. Like I'm getting that little bit of Goosebumps, but 34-year-olds me, I need some romance in it. I feel like that's what's happening. But when I was reading this book, I was like, man, I should have read these as a kid. Like, you know, you think of like those summer days when nothing was going on and like all your friends are out of town. Like this would have been perfect to, you know, I don't know. I think that there are books that young girls should read because this book did a lot of like, I think, you know, sometimes you and your friends are going to fight and some of your friends are going to go out of town and you guys are going to have to do, you know, take care of things that you guys would. I think it did a lot of breaking down female friendship in like a short amount of time. And like at first it threw me off because we kept getting different perspectives, but then I was like, you are getting everybody's perspective while this one thing's going on. And I thought that was great.
Yep,
well,
absolutely.
Like, I cannot wait to read them with my girls and be like, what would you do in this situation?
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
How would you decide who goes to Maine and what would you do? But okay, let's talk about the 13-year-old and the 19-year-old boy.
What was
going on?
And of course his name was Giorgio.
Like, yeah, I know, right? Let's call him Fabio. But like, is there what? Why was that okay?
I like how Claudia handled it at the end. She's like, I am 13.
Yeah,
There's a
she's like,
difference. I was like, Claudia's spelling right in this letter.
But I'm like, let's investigate Giorgio. What's going on here?
Right.
That he's 13-year-olds. Like she can look older, but like even when you're 18, do you want a 16-year-old? Which is what he thought she was. Like, no.
And the other thing that got me at the one point I was reading that he asks her to help him with the flowers. I'm like, dude, that's your job. Like, how do you not know what's like? I understand you're just trying to flirt with her, but it's just weird.
Like, when we're 13, we act 13.
Right? Nowadays, though, 13 is like, now, okay, if this was written today, I could absolutely see how he might mistake a 13-year-old for a, you know.
Yeah.
But 19 is not what it was. And like Shannon said, okay, so maybe Claudia looks older, and Christy and all of them, like, somebody's looking 13. Marianne and Christy are looking 13.
Are looking 13. Yeah,
I feel like Christy gives me the vibes of like she's the one that looks certain.
Yeah. Like she's dirty. She's tomboy. I mean,
right?
Tomboy.
Hair in a ponytail, like it's fine. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up with the ghost? The ghost.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, is this like a Jane Eyre lesson? Like, is Shannon Martin a Jane Eyre fan? But I love that. I was like, what slumber party did you? I mean, every slumber party I went to, there was a ghost story. So
yes,
this is so cute.
Yep.
Well, like the house I grew up in was built in 1858, and it was an orphanage at one point. And so we had a ghost in our house named Laura. And she was the ghost who, like, when my parents started it, those stinkers, but they, if anybody wouldn't fess up to something, they would say Laura did it.
Okay.
But, and so Laura, like, we have many ghost sightings. We felt like, and so like, I was like, oh yeah, this brings me back to my childhood bedroom.
Laura.
Laura.
I love it.
Chloe's ghost.
Yeah, Chloe's
guys, okay, so we just looked at a house, not today, but loved it. And they said they kept getting bats in the attic. And I was like, bats? And my parents have been having bats. And I'm like, no, seal that shit up. No bats, I'm out.
Yeah. So you said no? You said no?
Well, we lost it anyway. They outbid us, but like the bats and the ghosts, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
No, I don't want Laura. I don't want any bats.
No Batman. No nothing.
No, hard pass. And like it happened, it wasn't that old of a house, and it happened once, and then it happened again last year. And so I'm like, no.
I'm glad that they were honest and like they didn't just like let somebody move in and not tell them because
Oh, by the way,
at that point it's yours, Yeah,
because they're handing you the keys. Oh, by the way.
Well, so you guys, we were getting ready to put in our offer, and Jeremy, my husband, is a fact finder, so he gets on all of these different websites to try to find facts about this house, and so he finds that a $300,000 permit was pulled for it in 2010. A $300,000, and so he's like, what happened that would require $300,000 worth of repairs? Like the house is not even worth that much. Mm-hmm. And so we're like, what is going on? So find out it's a fire. And so we asked our agent, like, hey, can you like look into this and tell us what the story is? Well, the people had owned the house the whole time. They stood outside and smoked a cigarette, dropped it in a pile of leaves, went to bed, woke up, and their house is on fire. Burned the fucking thing down. And I'm like, what? Like, you guys are dumb.
Mm-hmm. You like, put that out.
Yeah, put it out or don't throw it in leaves. Like,
dumbass.
Are the houses still going really quick? Like,
Yeah, that one went in a day, and the people who beat us offered $35,000 over asking. And
wow.
I don't know if they got it or who got it or how much it went for, but
that's insane.
That's ridiculous.
When we got ours, we offered more than they were asking, but when we came to look at it, there were like 3 other families here, and we were like the only Black family, so it's like they don't expect us to get it. And he had everything else he showed us, it literally looked like they had like moved out, and he took us to show it the next day. I was like, do people still live here? Like, you can't fix the blinds, like what's going on? So by the time we got to this one, I was like, this is it. Offer more than they asked. But like when you told us how much people are offering there where you are, I was like, I wouldn't have a house if I had to offer that much more.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. That's what we're like. Okay, so we're searching all these houses that are in our price range, but if you add 50,000 to it, they're no longer in our price range. So we have lost like 3 or 4 houses because we can't compete. Like we can't go 50,000 over asking like that. What?
Yep. Yep.
Are these like gorgeous houses though?
No, I mean they're just regular houses. Like they're not mansions, and they're in freaking Kansas City, Kansas. Like we're not in New York here, guys.
Is there something going on in that area, or like they building something and there's going to be like a bunch of people flocking in?
It's
like
everywhere because it's here too.
Yeah, it's the whole country right now. It's because, first of all, a lot of things happened. People got scared when the election happened and they found out they didn't know what was going to happen interest wise. Now, also, with interest rates being as low as they are, young kids are out there buying houses. And so there's people that normally would rent or roomies or whatever that are 19, 20, 21, 22 buying their first home when normally they would wait until they were older. But interest is like interest rate is like historically low. So everybody's like, let's borrow money and let's buy stuff. And so there's nobody like there's just not enough houses. Too many people are buying shit.
And it's a seller's market right now. It's the same as up here too. Houses, they're saying it for the city of Toronto, they've never seen this before. You're averaging 1.5 million for
we bought this house. We bought the house we're in last January or February. About a year ago, a little over a year ago. And we are going to list it for like 40,000 more than we bought it for.
Mm-hmm.
And we may get over asking. I don't know, but
that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be really nice. So
I remember videos in your old house, Chloe.
I know, me too. I was just thinking, I'm like, yeah, I remember videos in Chloe's old house.
Yeah, you had your little chair.
Yeah.
So cozy.
Chloe's videos are dated based on what house she's in. Mine are based on what hair color I had at the time.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But that's the reason a lot of people, like for us, it's the reason a lot of people can't afford to buy. We just can't afford the houses.
Well, we talked about renting and stuff for like a year, to sell this and then just rent for a year. But you guys, I legit like broke out in hives because it stresses me out so much to think about moving twice with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And
I agree with you.
Husband. Like I just can't.
I agree with you.
Doing it twice in a year sounds so terrible.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. If you're going to move, just move.
And that's what I told him. We're going to pay way more than we should for a house, but we're also going to make way more than we should off this house. So it's all going to come out.
It'll all come out in the wash, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's still stressful.
A mansion in Maine.
Right?
With a ghost, Lydia.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay, you guys, they were like going there to see if they like even wanted this house that they were like inheriting.
Yeah.
If somebody gives you a house, you take the house.
You just take it.
I feel like this could have gone a separate way of like a Hallmark movie. My great uncle whatever left me this mansion, and look, it's the holidays.
It would have to be a Christmas movie because
right.
Yep.
Don't modernize them. They got me into reading. Okay.
It's true. Actually, my brother and I were laughing about that years ago. What movie was it that came out? Gerald's Game by it was originally written by Stephen King. But the plot of the movie is something like this weird sex thing. But he ties his wife to the bed and then he dies. And my brother goes, they couldn't have made it today because the cell phone would be sitting right there. He'd be like, hey, Surrey, call 911.
Right.
Some things only work for the time period.
Cell phone's not there, even if it's not there. Hey, Alexa, call the cops.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even have Alexa, but like my mom does, and we'll be on the phone and she'll just say, Alexa, what's the temperature outside? And I'm like, get your phone and look.
You guys, so Ainsley can say, she said, Alexa. And so we have cameras in each of the girls' rooms. And so like we'll be downstairs and we'll be like, Alexa, show me Annie Cam while she's napping. And so, or like, Alexa, show me Ainsley Cam, whatever. And so the other day, Jeremy was downstairs working and she wanted something from him. And so she says, Lexa, show me office cam. And I was like, kiddo, we don't have office cam. We don't have cameras on every room that you can ask Alexa to show you.
No, I'm okay. Okay. Thanks.
I just love the picture that you sent me and Sarah that time of them napping. And Ainsley's like on the floor dressing her dolls, and Annie's like sitting up.
Every single bow has come out of her door, all of her clothes. And she so I think it was that day I walked in and she was so pissed. And I was like, what's going on? And she said, my pants don't fit on my baby. That's because you're 3 years old and your baby is a stuffed baby. What are you doing? I can't get on.
They're supposed to fit.
She's just, she dresses everything. And she does a lot of naps.
I can't wait for her to read her first BSC.
Yes.
Are you going to start from the beginning, or are you going to okay?
But the question is, do I wait until Annie is old enough, or do I
together
head in with Ainsley? I don't know. But
maybe you and Ainsley can read them out loud to Annie.
I feel like Annie is not going to care. I feel like
that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like Annie will be like of age, and she'll be like, "You guys do something else."
Yeah.
Stop reading.
Like everybody else looking at Marianne reading from the guidebook, like, really, guys?
Annie's going to be our party girl, and
that's right.
going to be the librarian.
I kind of think Annie's going to be like the jock, because she's very very physical, or like she's able, or she's already pulling herself up and like walking on stuff, and she's 9 months old, and she is able to do things physically that Ainsley was not even anywhere near.
Yeah. So do we know?
Oh yeah, let's look.
Do we know what won for next month? Please don't let it be what I'm
in bed.
Bridget Jones.
Please no.
Bree, I have something to tell you about Bridget Jones, though. But so remind me, message me after this, and I'll tell you.
Okay. It actually looks like Shopaholic as per Instagram.
Okay, let me look at Goodreads, because
please do.
Shannon said she would be so Marianne. Yeah.
I always wanted to be Stacey, not because of the whole diabetes thing, but I just wanted the cool clothes that she had.
I think it would be no surprise that I'm mostly Dawn.
I like Dawn too, but I think mostly because I liked the girl who played her in the movie. I thought, you know what I mean? Like, I liked her personality and her outfits and stuff.
Groups, Book Sisters, where are we? So we don't have May options yet, do we? But we're going to put them up on both Goodreads and
What's our theme for May? Do we know off anybody?
No.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. So we need to do some math real quick. So we've got
some math.
Well, so Good in Bed is 25, 10 plus 15.
Okay, that's easy.
Shopaholic is 12 plus 8, 20.
Which is 20. Okay, so.
And then Bridget Jones is
3.
6 plus 8.
Oh.
So it's Good in Bed.
So it's Good in Bed.
Okay. Good in Bed by Jennifer Weiner. Cool. All right, I'm cool with it. I got the audio for it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's unscribed.
Okay.
It's long. It's like 14 hours long on audio.
It is?
Yeah, I'm like, oh man.
Maybe we did that math wrong. Maybe it's Shopaholic.
Maybe it's Bridget Jones. We were gonna pick the least rated one.
Let's take a poll in here now.
Yeah, like of the 10 of you who are here,
Yeah.
What do you want to read?
Yeah. Good and better shopaholic. I will not allow Bridget Jones.
It's funny.
Right.
I'll read Bridget Jones and love it. I guarantee that's what would end up happening. I feel like this is the best book I've ever read.
If
We
you
could have done
movie out
Sex
of
in
your
the
head.
City.
I'd have to get the movie out of my head. That would be my problem. That I would have to not be able to picture of Renee Zellweger.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of hers that much either.
I like her. I mean, I don't care either way.
The reason I don't like her is the stupidest reason. Way back in the day, she married Kenny Chesney. And I love Kenny Chesney. And I'm like, you effing bitch. Not like I ever had a chance before, but at the time.
She stole your man.
Right? That's fighting words.
I'm still salty about Justin Timberlake marrying what's-her-face.
Oh, yeah.
In heaven. I mean, and I like Jessica, but I'm like,
really?
Justin, for real. Like,
I wanted him to marry a normal girl.
I did too.
Like, come on. I mean, it could have been me, but.
And she's as normal as it kind of gets in the actress world.
It's true. It's true. Yep.
She's not, Justin Timberlake. Okay. They're a weird couple.
I follow her on Instagram and she seems like she's a good person and has her own sense of humor and she seems cool, but yeah, I pictured him with somebody different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you guys, they don't show their kid anywhere. And I just want to see that fucking kid. What does their kid look like?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Celebrity babies. Your kid's gonna show themselves eventually. So.
That's it. That's exactly it. Scarily enough.
But yeah, I don't know. But I did read something with her when or with both of them, I think. It may have been like Ellen or something, but they were like, nope, we're one and done. This is way too hard.
And they probably have like a nanny and, God knows what else, right?
Sure. For sure.
Have you all seen all the free #free Britney stuff?
Yes.
For some reason, YouTube always suggests old Britney Spears videos to me and behind the tour and all that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, I may or may not watch way too many of them, but I'm like, why? What has happened to her?
That poor girl
happened. And so it's free Britney for sure. But can we just get the 2000s Britney back?
I honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I really think she had major postpartum depression after her boys, and no one got her any help.
Well, I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think she was diagnosed bipolar.
Oh, okay, that would probably be, that makes sense.
I feel like I heard that too.
Manic depressive states where in a mania shaves her head, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I always liked her. I still like her music.
Yeah, she kind of started being a little weird there for a while.
And
yeah.
There's this podcast that is dedicated to decoding her Instagram messages because they feel like she's trying to send messages to us. Because I mean, honestly, for a while, I would she'd pop up on my Explore page and I'd go look and I'd think, what the fuck are you talking about? And so when I saw that podcast on this documentary on Hulu, I was like, oh. People feel like we need to read between the lines.
And what has happened to her voice?
Yeah.
She talks differently. Her nose is plugged and she's like, why? Yeah. I don't know. I can't. Her talking voice has changed.
Yeah.
I miss Little Country, Britney Spears on TRL.
She was so dang pretty.
Gosh, yeah.
So pretty.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not that she's not now, but
she looks a little weird now.
She looks rough around the edges now. I'll be polite.
And the makeup is just down to her.
Yeah, she slept in it and then got up and
I just want to take a Q-tip and be clean that up, girl. Clean it up.
I thought she was gorgeous when she shaved her head off. like her hair
Right?
off. I was like, I like you with the short cut.
Seriously.
Yeah, she is something else. I don't know.
I can't imagine like somebody and like going back and forth to court just to be able to make decisions for yourself, but like somebody else saying you cannot make decisions on your own behalf. That like I was so shocked that that was a thing. I mean, I'm sure there's instances where it absolutely needs to happen, but like
well, but for a court to decide that means she has like there's got to be some psychological things going on that we are not aware of.
Oh, for sure.
Like things have got to be a lot more severe. And that's where it's like even watching her Instagram and stuff, I'm like, am I like perpetuating this train wreck of, like, I don't know.
No, I know what you mean.
Like, are we still just watching and laughing at this girl who needs help?
Yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, those people are all in their early 40s now. That's crazy.
Oh, shut up.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, I can remember the first time I heard Baby One More Time. I was in my 20s, I think, when that song originally came out.
Dancing to it this morning.
Yeah.
But, quality music.
I would watch the video before school. Like MTV had like the morning videos, and that would come on, and Lenny Kravitz's "Fly Away," and I had to watch both of them before I went to school. And
so, you guys, funny story about those songs. My mom and I was just watching a video today on BookTube actually that brought up this, but my mom and I went to Girl Scout camp when I was in elementary school at some point. It was like a mother-daughter thing. And you guys, we are not campers. We went we went in the afternoon, stayed the night, and then blew that pop stand in the morning. We were like, instead, we went to the closest city and bought, now that's what I call music.
Yes!
1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it was. And Fly Away was on there. A Madonna song was on there. And we just like drove home listening to music. And we're like, we failed Girl Scout camp.
Hi, sugar.
I was in my early 20s when I saw NSYNC in concert. My dad's ex-partner at work, she had 2 younger girls and she got NSYNC tickets and she had 2 extras. So she said, did my mom and I want to go? And there's my mom and I like at NSYNC, we're like, please, little girls, you got, like.
Oh my gosh, I Want You Back is like a classic. Oh God, I love it. It's on my run playlist that gets no love because I'm not running.
Oh, so does Katie. For Katie, it's Backstreet Boys. She knew she would sit in the car and sing like everybody. I can't hear that without that.
Although, you guys, like, I'm not kidding when I say that NSYNC love is strong in this house, but we listen to a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s music. And today, I Want It That Way came on, and Ainsley said, Mom, is this church?
It's a religion in your house.
No, this is not church music. This church, and I was like, no. And if we're gonna talk about boy band worship, we're not talking about Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, this was somebody's church once upon a time,
right?
It was a religion.
Yes, Stephanie, New Kids. Thank you. Yeah, Stephanie,
New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits.
Yeah,
Chinese sick.
Is that New Kids background? He's probably like, what the hell's going on?
New Kids was my first concert. I was 13 years old at Molson, I think it was at the Garden. But yeah, my mom was more excited than I was because I was just so overwhelmed with all the stuff, right? And meanwhile, my mom, it's like it's the Beatles. Like she's just
oh yeah,
she's singing along to everything, and I'm just like totally in shock,
I mean, I don't listen to the radio that much, but are there boy bands now? I mean, I know K-pop.
I was going to say, yeah.
Like my husband's sister listens to it, and I'm like, so what are they saying?
That's
She's
my
like,
question.
We don't really care what they're saying, and I'm like, I want to know what they're saying.
That's kind of the point of music, is that it speaks to you.
I want to be in my emotions with the lyrics.
Right?
It's huge. So I mean, I love seeing people that love it, but I'm
Oh
like,
no, it's great. I don't personally understand. Like
yeah,
literally don't understand.
I want to know what this
Yeah,
is.
like literally, I do not speak that language.
I know it was LFO, Steph. I think I only know like one New Kids on the Block song. It's like, is it Hangin' Tough or something? Hangin' Tough.
And Step by Step, I guarantee you know Step by Step.
Okay, I know that one too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Yep.
So, but Bree, did you know Joey McIntyre and Jordan Knight as independent artists?
Yeah. I knew
Yeah.
Jordan Knight.
Give it to you in the carnival where he's gyrating on carnival stuff. And I'm like, this place, guy.
Maybe you know
that I'm giving to you.
See, and I remember hearing that going, no. Next.
Please don't go, girl. I remember that song.
Oh my God. I'm like, I can see in my head, I had the cassette tape of the New Kids Christmas album. And I played that thing out. And I now have it on my Spotify playlist because why the hell not?
Babysitters Club would have listened to. I wonder what they would have listened to.
Well, they were children of the 80s. So, you know.
Yep, you're right.
Technically,
you said 86?
Well, technically, they were older than me.
Aren't they?
No, they're older than me.
They're older than you?
Because I was born in 79 and in 86 they were 12. I would have been a bit. What killed me is in one of the books, Stacey's talking about like her old mom. And she's like, yeah, I think mom's like 34. I'm like, F you, Stacey. F you, okay?
Right. Right.
I'm like, how to make you feel old?
Wow. Okay. So they were 80s girls.
Young and social.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where do you think they ended up? Like who went to New York and wrote a gossip column and who?
Oh, Stacey would have definitely been the Carrie Bradshaw of the group if you wanted to.
Yeah. Low-key, I was reading this like who in Sex and the City from Babysitters Club?
Yeah.
I'm on the last season, so I'm like not okay. I'm not ready for it.
Oh.
Okay. So Stacey, you think would go off to New York and do journalism.
Oh yeah.
Where's Dawn go? You think she goes back to Cali?
Oh yeah. Start some environmental organization, save the whales and the dolphins, and which is great. But I think that's what she did.
Or she's the one starting like all the crunchy groups. Like here in Kansas, we have a area of crunchy mamas and stuff. Like she would be like total fish out of water, but like I'm gonna stand here in the middle of meat and potatoes country and I'm gonna talk about being vegan.
Yeah. Yeah, she's living in the heart of Texas doing that.
Yeah, right. She's in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Vegan.
Yeah.
Rainey said F you, Stacey.
Yeah.
What about Claudia?
I feel like she has like a gallery in New York or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say she went to New York and went to art school and is a foodie and art and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a boutique.
And Christy, would have like been the one to like found Facebook or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Christy, I would say Christy is like some sort of career woman, but probably with a husband and kids and coaching softball and she's just kind of doing all the things and delegating and being the boss.
She's a girl mom. She has to be a girl mom.
You think?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And Marianne, who knows, because she's just off reading somewhere.
Yeah.
Marianne probably is like the head she's like the head of the public library or like
Marianne's still in Stony Brook.
There are a lot of websites that I've run across over the years of people who are writing like fan fiction, if you will, of them now. And it's
so
really
cool.
cute. It's really fun.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple I read by one person, I can't remember. I mean, it was years ago, that actually Christy was a lesbian. Like they made her which is cool, right?
I can see that a little bit.
Yeah, see, I think somebody else needs to be a lesbian. That's too stereotypical of like
that was my issue with it as well. That was my issue with it as well. It'd be
a
like
tomboy being a lesbian.
Like if it was like Claudia or Stacey or something, that might be a little bit more,
Yeah.
But no, it's fun if you're interested. Just try and hunt. There's some good stuff and there's some bad stuff, right? But it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
To think about.
I could just see this being one of those series that you are so invested in that you're like, what would they be doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I know.
And that's also, I think, why I love the series that follow like the same person as opposed to like the same community, because then I wonder what they're doing now. And like the Shopaholic, where's Becky Bloomwood now? What's she doing? We get so many damn books that we kind of know, but
no, but you're absolutely correct. Like you wonder, and that's why I know for me, nostalgic wise, I mean, I read the whole Sweet Valley High series, and then however many years ago when they brought out that book called 10 Years Later, it was like amazing, like to actually read where the author feels that the characters were. That was, I would love Anna Martin to do something like that. I just think that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Let's just revisit them as adults.
No, I want to like keep it in my own head,
That's true.
I don't necessarily like if Stacey or if Christy was a lesbian, that would make me mad.
Yeah.
I mean, not because she was a lesbian, but just because I feel like that's exploiting stereotypes.
She's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of them would be because we're in 2021 where that's, I mean, our world, like,
it's a thing.
Yeah, that is what, I mean.
Maybe they all have to come back to Stony Brook for some reason. And, I think that would be a good movie.
But, like, I feel like, I watched it a whole bunch, but like when the Brady Bunch all came back and stuff, that I was like, this kind of ruins it. I mean,
that's what a lot of people had issue with the Sweet Valley High 10 Years Later book, is that the characters ended up doing things that they didn't agree with. So, A, people asked for this, and then B, when they got it, they weren't happy with it. So you can't make everybody happy, right?
Well, these are the author's characters. So if if that's where she said they are, then that's where they are.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So what are we reading next month again?
Good in Bed by Jennifer Weiner.
Good in Bed.
And I think Shannon said it's 470 pages.
I loved it, though. I loved it, and I'm excited to reread it and see if I still love it.
I haven't read, the only book by her that I've read was her memoir, which I really liked.
I like most of her stuff.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. Are we keeping you awake, Chloe?
Yes.
So we need to do a May. We need to think of a May.
Yeah. Yes. Does anybody have any suggestions?
Yeah. Damn, May got here real fast.
I know, right?
I felt like we had like months and months and months planned ahead.
Yeah. But I think we did, but we didn't write anything down. That might have been the issue.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, yeah, I think we had talked about. Oh no, I know. Oh. We'll talk about it privately. It privately.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because I do feel like we had got up to like May and June. Because we knew Chick Lit in April. And I think I thought we had May too, but I don't remember what it was.
We'll figure it out.
I think it did have something, because I think it did have something to do with.
How fun would, maybe not for this year, but maybe like our mom's favorite books?
Yeah.
That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what my mom's favorite book is.
I know my mother would probably pick Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier.
Yeah, I don't know that we want to do that.
I would reread it. Bree would be in for it, right?
Chloe's mom reads like thrillers and stuff. Right?
We would get such a difference in like.
All right. Well,
ladies.
we'll talk about it.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Yes. And we'll talk to you in the next one, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.